I had somebody who asked about co-witnessing red dots to your rear and front sight. Here's my thoughts on it. I'm sure people are going to be out there like, oh, you got to co-witness or whatever. No, you don't, actually. In fact, your dots were designed so that they would be in the center of the window, and then that you would put them on target, and you would focus on the target. These are key principles to a red dot. Center of the window, on target, focused on the target. If I had a rear sight, it'd be just as high as the front sight. Now I want you to see where the center of the window is, okay, the top of my finger there, in relation to the top of the sight here. The center of the window is higher than the sight, the front sight. And that's typically what you're going to see in all firearms. You could have a higher sight, a higher rear sight, higher front sight. You could. And you could probably buy some to make it happen. But at the end of the day, it's not necessary. If I were to co-witness my red dot on this firearm, this Canik TP9 SFX, to the front sight that it came with, and level it up with the rear sight, if I had one on here, my dot would be at the very bottom of the window. I could barely see it, actually. That's not the way red dots were designed to use. Let's say I did that and I'm keyholing, gotcha. But now we're looking at 4 different planes. We're looking at the rear sight, the red dot, the front sight, and the target. What are you going to focus on? Now let's use them separately. Let's say rear sight, front sight, target, okay? You're focused on the front sight, correct? You should be saying yes. Target should be blurry, your rear sight should be blurry, okay? Separate from that, the red dot. If you're using your red dot, it should be in the center of the window, and you should be on the target, and you should be focused on the target. Your eyes, my eyes, can only focus on one thing at a time, okay? So I have to choose what I'm focusing on. So when you're using your iron sights, rear and front, you're focused on the front sight post. When you're using the red dot, you're focused on the target. Why? You can look at the target and focus on the target, and you can also see where that red dot is on the target, right? When I'm using the iron sights, I'm focused on the front sight post. Now, we have a tendency to look at the target because that's the threat or that's what we want to hit. But when we do that, we tend to really anticipate. So your front sight should be the one that you're focusing on. If I were to line all these things up, rear sight, red dot, front sight, target, what am I focusing on? I'm defeating the purpose of the red dot in the first place. If you want to get super Gucci and have it completely co-witnessed, by all means, do so. This is what I would suggest for you to do. Zero your red dot, and then buy sights that are high enough so that it can co-witness with the red dot while it's in the center of the window. Here's my opinion. Between red dots and iron sights, it's not going to matter in a CQB environment or close quarters battle environment. Most engagements with police officers happen within 3 yards, 3 seconds, and 3 rounds, or 3 cartridges, whatever you want to say. Your brain cannot comprehend and work as fast as you drawing the firearm and presenting on target to acquire the sights at all, if perfectly. What I mean by that is that if there's a threat 3 yards away, 9 feet, and I have to draw within 3 seconds and I have to shoot a minimum of 3 rounds, by the time that third round comes, I may have started to acquire my sights. The point is that you need to go to the range and shoot one, drawing one, drawing one, drawing one, drawing one, and be consistent with your grip, your form, and everything else in between, so that you don't even have to see your sights. If I hold my pistol out and I put my red dot on a target, and let's say I see it's not there, it literally takes me raising the firearm up to my iron sights a split second. For anybody who plays any kind of musical instrument in any kind of professional setting, you know that mistakes are going to happen. But how do you recover from those mistakes? You're going to figure out the next chord to go to and you can get to it, right? It's the same principle when you're talking about your red dot versus your irons on your pistol, or even your AR for that matter. They are not meant to co-witness. It's not meant to happen. You can make it happen, but the effort that you put into it is not necessary. And you're going to become more and more frustrated by trying to co-witness than just training proper grip and proper form. Tack out.